Back at Sekapart, the jewel of our Kokili region. Magnificent matches, and the road to Kirkpiner runs right through this grass. This is what the wrestlers have worked all season toward.
A message from Muammar AK, a golden belt master from the El Mali wrestling tradition, serving on the Turkish Traditional Wrestling Federation's boards. We're heading to Kirkpiner through magnificent matches. This makes us proud, he says. And he's right. The wrestling here has been extraordinary.
The temperature here is 22 degrees Celsius. Honestly, not the heat Orhan Akulu prefers. He has always wrestled best when the Sarayasai field in Edirne is well above 40.
If the Edirne heat truly settles in, and at Sarayasai it climbs above 40 degrees, Orhan Akulu has tested himself in exactly those conditions for years. The furnace of Kirkpiner separates wrestlers. Some wilt in it. Akulu has always endured it.
For wrestlers like Mustafa Taz, Ismail Koch, Yusuf Kanzibek, and Fizela Akhtar, that kind of heat is an advantage. They thrive when the field turns into a furnace. That is Kirkpiner. Ali Yanatma has beaten Serhat Gökmen, Fethi's only Basbalivan, and he is on fire in the added 8 race. He's reached 5 points. Let me correct that. Yanatma is not yet inside the added 8. He needs at least one more win. He had 3 points, added 2 in the scoring period, and now sits at 5.
Did Ali Yanatma win in regulation? No, in the scoring period. 2 points there. Those scoring period points count, but they shape the tiebreaks differently than a clean win.
Second Duman against Mustafa Badu has just begun, top right of your screen. And the historic matchup of the day, Orhan Akulu against Onur Susus, is underway in the main frame.
We're at the Sekapart field, and I want to acknowledge the dignitaries with us, and note that one of the day's historic matchups, Orhan Akulu against Onur Susus, has just begun in the main frame. This is the one everyone has waited for.
Onur Susus karşılaşması başladı.
Looking across, the match is still in progress. Among them, there's no wrestler in a position to lock up an added 8 place right now. The standings are paused, waiting on these results.
İlave 8 mücadelesi ilave 8 adını şu anda yazdırma fırsatına sahip başpehlivan yok.
Until our pictures come through on the right, a great many Basbalivanlar have lined up on 6 points. But 6 points is not enough right now. The bar has risen above that, and it is still rising.
Yetmiyor.
Okan Yavuz sits on 7 points, currently the last of the added 8. The order right now: Susus, Serhat Elvin, Tanju Cemisai, Hassan Güzeler, Suleiman Baysar, Ünal Karaman, Tolga Turan, Okan Yavuz.
Ünal Karaman, Tolga Turan, Okan Yavaş sıralaması ilave 8 için.
Ünal Karaman took a very critical win and has found his place inside the 8. Tolga Turan has reached 8 points and continues on. The board is moving with every single match.
Yoluna devam ediyor. Ali Güngör Ekin halen daha Mustafa Doğan Özkaya ile müsabakasını sürdürüyor.
If Ali Gungur Ekin can take the advantage, he'd be the third Basbalivan to reach 8 points on the road to the added 8.
Başpehlivan olacak.
But he started searching from the bottom, from the ground, and 8 points may not be enough when the next round is decisive.
Aşağıdan güreş arayışına başladı.
And here's the hard truth of this round. 8 points may not even be enough. If the matches keep going the way they are, an 8-point Basbalivan could still finish outside the top 8.
Sağlık görevlilerimiz takviye sağlık ekibi.
Orhan Akulu working from the neck lock, a move toward the Kasnak. This is the relentless pressure that defines his wrestling. The question is always whether his opponent can survive the opening assault.
Hasan Güzeler approaching the side poker again, a Kangal attempt, and Hamza Özkaradeniz loses his balance for a moment, but recovers instantly. These two are locked in a real battle.
Ama Hamza Özkaradeniz bir an dengesini kaybetti ama hemen toparlandı.
Orhan Akulu yine baskı kurdu.
Tufan Güzel is wrestling from his knees now against Enes Dogan. That, too, is a sign of fatigue setting in. Dogan has steadily worn him down through this match.
Bu da yorgunluk alametinin bir göstergesi.
Hamza Özkaradeniz and Hasan Güzeler side by side again, Güzeler in the slightly more advantageous position, but Özkaradeniz holding by the arm, a solid example of defense. He's wrapped his leg behind his opponents, but couldn't finish it.
Örneği sergiliyor, bacağı rakibinin arkasına doğru doladı. Ama sonuç alamadı. Şimdi Hasan Güzeller arkasına geçme çabası içerisinde Hamza Özkaradeniz'in. Paşadan yakalamış durumda Hasan Güzeller Hamza Özkaradeniz'i.
Effective slaps from Susus. The L-ents, the head and neck control. Some controlled, some less so. This is how he's trying to disrupt Orhan Akulu's relentless rhythm.
Hasan Güzeler holds Hamza Özkaradeniz in the neck lock now. And in the Dogan, Tufan Güzel match, Güzel goes to his knees again, Dogan working from the top, looking to bring him down.
Yürüdü aşağıya. Ama onursuzsuz biraz uzak tutarak kendisini o pozisyondan...
And in the Recep Kara Abdulrafik Warner match, Warner caught the paka, got the armpit, drove him down. Recep Kara in real trouble, and Warner wins. Recep Kara used his last attempt, but Abdulrafik Warner takes it.
Son sakısını kullandı Recep Kara ama kazanan Abdülrefik Öner oldu.
Abdülrefik Öner, Recep Kara'ya üstünlük sağladı. Adını bir üst tura yazdırdı. İşte
Kokili Galkuk Municipality's Basbalivan Abdulrafik Warner, beating his own elder, Recep Kara. Watch the dive, the armpit entry, the back to the ground. A clean victory.
Kokili Galkuk Municipality's Basbalivan, Abdulrafik Warner, look at the dive, the armpit, the back to the ground. A clean victory over his elder, Recep Kara. A meaningful result for Warner.
Orhan Akulu has driven Susus to the barriers again. A second warning is a real possibility for Susus now. The pressure from Akulu has been unrelenting from the first second.
Bu arada,
Bu arada
Hasan
Hamza
Güzeller.
Özkaradeniz,
Evet.
Hasan Güzeller mücadelesinde Hamza Özkaradeniz sanki puanlamada değilmişizcesine.
And Hassan Güzeler, wrestling as if this weren't even a scoring period. He's pressed forward, got behind Hamza Özkaradeniz, and he wins. With this, Hassan Güzeler may have just sealed his Kirkpiner place.
Wearing down Hamza Özkaradeniz was never going to be easy, but his stamina finally ran out.
Kazanmasını bil.
And Hassan Güzeler took the reward for the patience he's known for. That is how you win these long, grinding scoring periods.
Serhat Elvin and Hassan Güzeler both now sit on 13 points. A major advantage secured in the added 8 race. Wearing down Hamza Özkaradeniz was never easy. Güzeler earned every bit of that.
İlave 8 yolunda önemli bir avantaj elde etti.
Mustafa Batu, Seçkin Duman karşılaşması da devam ediyor.
And this is the end of the road for Ollie Gungar-Ekin. His Kirkpiner dreams finish here, outside the 8, stuck on 6 points. Mustafa Dogan-Askıya got the better of him.
İlave 8'in dışına kalmıştı. 6 puan da kaldı. Serhat, Enes Doğan, Ali Güngör Ekin'e üstünlük kuruyor.
And Enes Dogan defeats Tufan Güzel. So Tufan Güzel's Kirkpiner hopes in here as well. Two wrestlers' summers decided in a matter of moments.
Sona eriyor.
Mustafa Dogan-Askıya also got the better of Ali Gungar-Ekin.
Yine
So for Ali Gungar-Ekin, Kirkpiner ends here too. The eliminations are coming in waves now as the field tightens.
Kafadan oynayarak kafasını düşürmeye çalışıyor. Onursuzun Orhan Okulu.
Of the two wrestlers on 13 points, Serhat Elvin sits second, Hassan Güzeler third. And the tiebreak between them comes down to the criteria.
önce aralarındaki galibiyetler.
To rank the two wrestlers tied on 13, first, the head-to-head result. And if that criterion doesn't apply, we move to the next, the number of non-scoring wins.
Kendi aralarında.
That's how a tie like this gets
There's no
resolved.
head-to-head between Güzeler and Elvin in the league this season, so the next criterion applies, non-scoring wins. That's where the order is decided.
Puanlama harici galibiyet.
Bilmiyorum katılacak mısınız?
Looking at Osman Khan's matches through this fourth stage, he absolutely deserves, and is sniffing out, a Kirkpiner quarterfinal.
Kesinlikle.
And on the tie, Serhat Elvin has one non-scoring win, Hassan Güzeler has none.
Bir adım önünde.
Their points difference is identical at -3, so that first criterion
Serhat
settles.
Elvin is a step ahead of Hassan Güzeler. He has one non-scoring win to Güzeler's none. Both carry a points difference of -3, so the first criterion settles it. Elvin ahead, so the wrestlers flying into the added 8 are taking shape. Susu's already secure, with no way of falling out of the top 8 now. The picture is hardening with every result.
Zaten onun ilk 8'de dışında kalma ihtimali yok.
Once a wrestler clears this round, only one or two others could possibly pass him on points, but it wouldn't be enough.
Belki onu
You'd need 8 Basbolivenler to finish ahead, and all 8 of them to reach the quarterfinals.
gerekiyor.
That means winning 2 more rounds.
Onu geride bırakılması.
The math protects the leaders.
Görmesi. 2 tur daha kazanmaları gerekiyor.
Küçük orta büyük boy belirlemeleri. Sırayla geçelim. Boğadan alalım. Küçük orta büyük boylar.
Bu arada Ali Gürbüz'ü küt dedik böyle.
Ama öyle bir baş pehlivanda kalmadı. 6 puana çünkü ulaşabildi. Hemen ilk 8'in dışındaki baş pehlivanlar.
Once Ollie Gürbüz reached 6 points, even with his shock loss, that was enough to keep him clear of the immediate cutoff conversation. But the added 8 names are now nearly locked. Elvin, Güzeler, Cemisay,
Serhat
Baysar.
Elvin 13, Hassan Güzeler 13, Tanju Cemisay 12, Suleiman Baysar 11.
Olanlar
These Basbolivenler hold an enormous advantage right now. Let's look at who can still come from behind.
var mı ya da
Semi Turgut, Menderes Saltik, both on 6 points. Ali Gungar-Ekin stuck on 6. None of those numbers reach inside the 8 now.
Evet.
7 points is the floor of qualification, and even that may not survive.
Tolga Turan on 8 points, now inside the 8. Yunal Karaman on 8, inside the 8. And Okan Yava's left on 7. The question is whether 7 will hold.
Şimdi ilave 8'de Okan Yavaş 7 puanda kaldı şu anda. Tabii Okan Yavaş için o 7 puan yetecek mi?
Allah İllallah Muhammedun Resulullah.
Onu geride bırakma fırsatına sahip.
Alkışlarla diyelim maşallah. Allah devam versin. Büyük orta pehlivanları,
Tolga Turan var.
Büyük orta pehlivanları sizler ve çok acele er meydanına. Büyük ortalar.
Susuz is wrestling from his knees now too. Orhan Okulu has worn him down badly. But Susuz is putting up an epic fight for his own future on this grass.
Destansı bir mücadele.
Orhan Okulu has worn Susuz down badly, but for his own sake, Susuz is putting on an epic fight. Let me be honest, to hold on this long against Orhan Okulu is genuinely remarkable. This is a game for Turkish wrestling itself.
On Osman can beating Ali Gürbüz, putting him flat onto his shoulder like that. It's a warning sign for his rivals at Kirkpiner. Because nobody puts Ali Gürbüz on his back easily. Nobody.
Çünkü Ali Gürbüz öyle kolay kolay sırt üstü
Kimse düşüremez. Harika.
Okulu has the neck lock, applying pressure.
Baskı kurdu. Dış kasna.
If he catches the outer calf neck, no, he didn't go there yet. But Susuz must not move his head out of position.
Ama kafasından
Okulu exploits that error better than anyone in the sport.
Orhan da bunu çok iyi yapıyor.
There's an expression, a wrestler who breaks the script. Osman can genuinely breaks the script at Kirkpiner.
Benim
He can send an opponent into the stands in a single instant. For Turkish wrestling, his rise is a tremendous game. And I'm among those expecting Ismail Balaban to blow like his old yellow storm again.
Rüzgarı estireceği.
He hasn't spoken his final word yet. Neither has Ali Aysin Batmaz.
Ali İhsan Batmaz.
Neither has Cengiz Şimşek.
Gizan Şimşek de öyle.
There is still so much of this season's story to be written at Edirne.
Kırkpınar'da gözyaşıyla rakiplerini gönderebilir.
And if Osman can meet the criteria for the Presidential Cup, his finishes are tremendous, full of courage. Ismail Koç, Ali Gürbüz, Orhan Okulu, Enes Dogan, Fizela Aktürk. What matches those would be?
Kesinlikle.
İsmail Koç, Ali Gürbüz, Orhan Okulu, Enes Doğan, Feyzullah Aktürk, İsmail Koç.
O zaman bambaşka bir karşılaşma izleyeceğiz.
One day, I hope, we return to our roots in oil wrestling, the scoring period removed, a set time, then a decisive finish within a window, and if needed, the full or empty draw, just as it was in Ottoman times and the early Republic.
Tıpkı
Those are the days we'll one day recount and pass on.
olduğu gibi pehlivanlarımızın boş dolu kura neticesinde galip geldiği günleri anlatıp aktarırız. Tüm temennim bu doğrultuda.
Dış kasnaktan güreş aramaya, çözmeye çalışıyor rakibini. Onur Susuz'u.
Seçkin Duman Mustafa Batu mücadelesinde de Faruk Mutkan, bilmiyorum katılacak mısın? İkisi de
In the second Duman Mustafa Bata match, both wrestlers, given where they stand in the bracket, want to clear today's elimination round. So they're wrestling more patiently, more carefully than
In
usual.
second Duman against Mustafa Batu, both, given their position in the bracket, want to clear today's last 32 and last 16 rounds.
kalmadığını da görüyoruz.
So they wrestle more patiently, more carefully.
Nerede başlar?
Duman is normally the more aggressive, result-focused wrestler, but here, he's taking little risk.
Mustafa Batu is a wrestler who loves a long match, a monument to patience. Let's see what the home wrestler, second Duman, can do against him.
Bir sabır abidesi. Mustafa Batu, evet katılıyorum.
In the smaller divisions, the chase clock has arrived, the time-limited pursuit phase.
Küçük olan
The whole field is moving through its decisive moments at once.
And second Duman found the way to press Mustafa Bata down. He wins. That leaves just one match remaining on the field. The most compelling of them all, Orhan Akulu and Onur Susuz.
Orhan Okulu ve Onur Susuz arasındaki bu turun en dikkat çekici eşleşmelerinden biriydi o müsabaka.
The moment Mustafa Bata drew close, second Duman seized his waist. Bata was actually in the advantageous position and lost it in an instant. My idol is Fadi Atli, Duman says, and you can see that counter
The instant
wrestling.
Mustafa Bata drew close, second Duman didn't forgive it, very technical, and he names Fadi Atli as his idol. When you get tangled up with Duman, the counter, the Ali Sengiz move, can come at any moment. Beautifully timed, right into the waist.
Girmiş.
Orhan Okulu da baskı kurdu.
başta ekipmanlarımız kurallarınızı seçmek üzere cetvel hakemliğine geliniz. Rakip derneğinin başta ekipmanlarımız kurallarını cetvel hakemliğinde çekeceklerdir.
Onursuzuz çok da geri gitmediği için etrafında eskilerle döndüğü için ikinci itarı da veremiyor hakemler. Dolayısıyla
Her meydanda geliniz.
tamamen puana odaklı bir hamle söz konusu olduğunda güreşin çözüleceğini düşünenlerdenim. Bir noktadan sonra artık sabırlar tükenip risk alacakları gibi gözükmekte.
Despite being so new to this top division, Susuz is matching his wrestling beautifully against a veteran like Orhan Akulu. And it's because he's wrestling the correct tactical match. Exactly right.
Ama doğru taktikte güreştiği için.
Aynen.
Onursuz
There are wrestlers far stronger and better conditioned than Susuz, and even they can't hold on against Orhan Akulu.
Çünkü
Because wrestling Akulu is genuinely so hard.
yüksek tempoda
He starts at a high tempo and sustains it, wrestle the wrong tactic, and you're on your back in 10 minutes.
anlarda 10 dakikada sırt aşağı yenilebilirsiniz.
Susuz is putting on a flawless performance right now, in every phase, against Orhan Akulu. A moment ago, he staggered Akulu forward, nearly put him down.
İyi sendeletti, düşürdü Orhan Okulu'yu.
"80 minutes of wrestling time has now passed in this match. We're into the 81st minute of Orhan Akulu against Onur Susuz. Counting the breaks, nearly an hour and a half of the broadcast has gone to
80
this
minutes
bout.
of match time has passed, the full duration and beyond. We're in the 81st minute now.
Orhan Okulu, Onursuz
Including all the breaks, nearly an hour and a half of broadcast has gone to this single bout. A grueling
Orhan
match.
Akulu loading up. He has the leg. He has the paka. He's driving for the result. Can Susuz answer? He wraps the leg. Susuz is on top. Susuz is about to win. Susuz drives through. He presses. Onur Susuz wins. He defeats Orhan Akulu. Oh my, oh my, oh my. The surprise of the day. Susuz takes down Orhan Akulu.
Orhan Okulu'ya üstünlük sağladı.
The surprise of the day. After a flawless block of defense, Onur Susuz is the one left standing. He showed on this grass that attacking and pressuring isn't everything.
Hücum yapmak.
A flawless block of defense, and at the very end, Susuz is the one who wins.
Burada
He showed, right here on the grass, that attacking and pressuring isn't everything.
İşte burada Orhan
Akulu was in the advantageous position, but Susuz stood firm, broke his balance, and stayed on top.
önce
A lesson made visible.
Orhan Akulu was in the advantageous position. No question. But Susuz stood firm, broke his opponent's balance first, and then found his way on top. Akulu resisted, but Susuz was too quick.
Kendi oyunuyla vurdu.
He beat him with his own game. Akulu loaded from the Kasnak and Paka, and Susuz led him, then countered. A possible tactical error from Akulu. He may have rushed it.
bilmiyorum. Orhan Okulu
Was it a tactical error?
sağdan
I'm not certain, but Orhan Akulu rushed it a little.
İşte aslında
Loading from the right, then suddenly that left armpit move, a move we're genuinely not used to seeing from Akulu.
aslında
And that one move tore his entire tactic to the ground.
kendine bir
He undid himself.
That arm move from Akulu. He does himself. He does himself. He does himself.
üzerinde olacak.